JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Jamaican troops being prepared for deployment to Haiti. Preparations are being made for the deployment of troops from Jamaica to Haiti as part of the multinational security support mission. Details of the preparations were not disclosed after the last meeting of the National Security Council. However, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said Chief of Defense Staff of the Jamaica Defense Force, Vice Admiral Antoinette Weiss Gorman, advised the meeting that there were several outstanding matters to address, most notably that deployment is contingent on the finalization of critical resourcing.
The Chief of Defense Staff advised the Council that deployment is contingent on the finalization of critical resourcing and other agreements for which we await confirmation.
In April, the Jamaican soldiers to be deployed were trained in peacekeeping skills and combat first aid by Canadian Armed Forces, along with troops from the Bahamas and Belize. Illegal gun found in burnt-out home in Kingston. An illegal gun was found in a burnt-out home on Unity Lane in Rosetown, Kingston 13 on Friday. The gun was seized after the Kingston Western Police conducted a search of the raised dwelling. No one was arrested in connection with the seizure, the police said. Reports received are that around 11:30 a.m., a police team carried out a targeted raid at the premises. During a search, a black P80 pistol with an empty magazine was found beneath a sheet of zinc. The gun, the police said, was processed, packaged, and labeled for ballistic examination. Man shot dead after reportedly trying to disarm cop, gun seized. A man was shot dead by the police and a gun seized during an incident at a gully along Content Avenue, Kingston 10 on Saturday. Up to Sunday morning, the dead man was still unidentified. Reports are that around 12:05 p.m., police were patrolling the Content Avenue area when they observed two men who saw the service vehicle and ran. The police gave chase and accosted one of the men. One of the cops searched the now deceased and found a 9mm Smith & Wesson firearm in his waistband. The man, the police reported, attempted to disarm the cop when one of the other lawmen, in fear for his life and that of his colleague, opened fire to neutralize the threat. The man was shot, injured, and taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. None of the cops were hurt during the incident, the police said. Date on Jamaicans' views influenced Golding's decision to renounce British citizenship. Opposition leader Mark Golding has disclosed that date on the views of Jamaicans on the issue of political leaders holding dual citizenship informed his decision to take steps to renounce his British citizenship. Golding announced his intention to renounce his citizenship of the United Kingdom on Sunday during a People's National Party (PNP) meeting.
So, my situation is one where I have always regarded my status as being normal and not something that I should be concerned about. However, when the issue came out in the public domain, I did say that while my own view of the matter of dual citizenship is that we should be expanding rather than narrowing the scope of who can participate in our political process, even at the highest level, given the diaspora that we have as a reality, the Jamaican family being international, and we being so dependent on our Jamaican family for the sustenance and support of our economy and our society here. And we discussed some of those issues a while ago in the discussion on economic transformation. I also said that I had to be mindful of where the Jamaican people felt about this, and if it became apparent that the view was that leaders in the parliament, or members of parliament, senators, or persons of holding high office should be exclusively Jamaican citizens, I would take that into account. And comrades, we have reached a point now where we have some data on the views of the public on this matter. And while I express my own view is on the way we ought to be going as a country in relation to this issue, I do not want my status to be something which could hold the party back impact the party negatively, or any of our candidates who are on the road to victory in difficult seats which we're looking to win, to have any kind of disadvantage because of my status. So as a result of that, I have decided to take that issue off the table by renouncing my
Man sentenced to 62 years in prison for shooting and the firearm charges. A 22-year-old man was sentenced to more than 62 years in prison when he appeared in the gun court last Friday. Jaheim Neal, otherwise called Tuggy, from East Road in Trenchtown, Kingston 12, was before the court charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and the 2 counts of shooting with intent. He was found guilty and sentenced to 22 years and 6 months for possession of a prohibited weapon and 20 years and 6 months on each count of shooting with intent. The sentences are to run concurrently, meaning he will serve a total of 22 years and 6 months behind bars. Neal was charged in connection with an incident that was committed on January 7, 2023, when he was accused of shooting at 2 men on East Road. It was charged on April 4 that same year and placed before the court. Allegations are that the incident stemmed from a long-standing family dispute. According to court documents, the men, who resided in the same community as Neal, were accompanying a friend home from a party sometime in the early morning on the day of the incident. Upon reaching a section of the scheme close to the building where the accused lived, the complainant said they observed Neal with a gun. It is said that Neal then pulled the gun, fired 2 shots in the direction of the complainants, and fled the area on foot. Nannyville double murder possibly linked to reputed Mountain View Don's death. A double murder in Nannyville, St. Andrew on Monday may have been a reprisal for the killing of an alleged Don on Mountain View Avenue more than a week earlier. Information received is that at least one of the men killed in the double murder was said to be involved in the June 11, 2024 killing of 34-year-old Kemar Williams, otherwise called Dangles, from Chavez Avenue, Kingston 3. Williams was shot dead while driving in a vehicle on Mountain View Avenue. Reports were that around 2:05 p.m., it was heading along the roadway when it was spun upon by 2 men traveling on a motorcycle who opened fire, hitting him several times. 13 days later, 2 men, 34-year-old Demar Pink of Grand Ridge Path and 25-year-old Stephen Wallace of Abeng Way, both in Nannyville, were shot dead and another man injured during a gun attack. It was reported that around 9:30 p.m., residents heard explosions and summoned the police. Upon their arrival, both men were seen with gunshot wounds to the upper body. They were assisted to the hospital, where Pink and Wallace were pronounced dead. The other man was admitted for treatment. The police said they are looking at several leads into the double murder, including that the men may have been killed as a reprisal for Williams' death. Mocha police and residents want urgent station upgrade. Whenever a resident in Mocha, Clarendon, visits their police station to make a report, they have to wait outside the containers that house the precinct for an available officer. This arrangement is less than ideal, Mocha resident Sheldon Allison said. He explained that this lack of privacy caused residents to be hesitant in reporting matters. If me have something serious to report, me can't go report it. Me have to go on me a pen, because if you go report it, you have to go stay outside. Because you can't go inside of the container, they have to sit outside upon 2 chairs provided, he said. The cramped container space that police officers have been operating out of for the last 6 months is terrible, a police officer who requested not to be named said. The 2 containers are used to house male and female police personnel, function as an administrative office, and facilitate all the amenities such as bathroom and barracks. But the police officer said there's no running water in the container and the air conditioning unit has been disconnected. A fan, borrowed from a resident in the community, provided little relief to the police from the afternoon heat. A derelict building that previously housed the police station stands across the street. For years, the police said the promise of a new building had been dangled over their heads, so it was very surprising days prior when 3 more containers were delivered on site. Me think them a go use block and steel and build one nice station give it. Me never did know a container them a drop. Them not deal with much good at all, the police stated. Member of Parliament for North Central Clarendon, Robert Morgan, announced plans for a modern police station for the community during his contribution to the state of the constituency in November last year. He said that plans to accomplish this are well advanced. Land has been acquired. Approvals are being had through the procurement process. We expect the building to start next year, he said. He noted that the additional trailers are temporary measures to provide some upgrade to the current site and to make it more comfortable for the police. But Moko resident Devon Wallace is not convinced that the additional containers will be a short-term measure. How can container become building? Container with trailer man hook up on him truck and move from one place to another as nomad, he said. Though sharing his concerns about the delay, Counsel for the Moko Division, Romain Morris, is optimistic about the progress of negotiations for a new building. We need a new building because there's a lot more services from the JCF that would like for it to be provided for the residents in Moko, he said. 5 years ago, Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, announced the government's plan to rebuild, overhaul, and construct more than 200 police facilities at a cost of $5 billion. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.